Hello and welcome to a Let's Play of Heroes of Might and Magic 3. This is another game naturally in the Might and Magic game series, and since it's the Heroes series, it's a strategy game. Probably one of my favorite ones in the entire series. It's not flawless, but none of them certainly are. But I guess it's the most best. Everything here, the overall balance of things works the best. It's enough of an improvement from the previous games that a lot of the annoyances and have been removed, and some of the mechanics have been developed further to make them more interesting. And it's still mainly a strategy game, except for Jesus Christ, what the hell is he wearing? Like a half-body leather thing? Well, anyway, there's not much to say about this. It's better set in the game. Campaigns. I have no interest in playing scenarios here. This includes the original game, Restoration of Erathia, and the expansions Confidence Blade and Shadow of Death. So we'll start with the original campaign. The campaign itself includes several campaigns, so I'm not sure. These are like 3-4 mission length packs, individual campaign parts. You'll probably play as a different group of different faction in each campaign, and they lead up to something more larger fights or higher level battles or something like that. So just because this is a separate fight or campaign does not mean it has no connection with the others, and not just a tenuous plot connection, but some of the heroes, for example, from the one campaign might be seeing an appearance later on in the overall larger campaign, things like that. You never know. So we'll start with the Long Live the Queen. Campaign description. Our landing has confirmed both our rumors and fears. With the death of my father, Erathia's lands are being greedily divided by her beavers. And this scenario name is Homecoming. To win, you must locate and capture the town of Terranius. Your heroes will be limited to the 6th level, but your 4 strongest heroes will travel with you to the next scenario of this campaign. So you have a single enemy. Difficulty is easy, and we can choose a reward to start the mission. First aid 10, which is okay if you have high level creatures. 14 pikemen, which is nothing, and aircraft. Or some resources. Sulfur, mercury, crystal gems. I'll take the resources.
Our initial landing has captured a devastated outpost. Information is scarce and unreliable at best. Neighboring citizens have fled their villages. Remaining survivors tell conflicting stories. Evidence points to a Nyan invasion. Rally local militia and train them quickly. Destroy all hostile forces you encounter. Assume the worst. Assume we are at war.
From Catherine Ironfist, Queen of Enral. General, our initial landing shows evidence of an invasion by the dungeon overlords of Nyan. These people have been under Nyan military rule for the past 30 days. We assume the adjacent towns of Flint, Mirham and Tralia are also under Nyan or Eopol occupation. Other generals are padding through the region to determine the extent of the territorial violation. For this area, your goal is simple. Establish a base of operations, rally local militia, determine the extent of Nyan occupation, and find their invasion route. If you can secure their main base of operations, we will be able to quickly eliminate any remaining forces. Good luck. One thing of note, this is clearly in a smaller window, separate smaller window. Same with some of the other things. It's because I'm using a high definition map that allows me to play in widescreen. The consequence of that is that some of the separate windows will be shown as smaller. The reason is simply that they don't scale at all. This would basically be the resolution I'd have to play the game if I didn't use some kind of modification. So that's why some of these windows are smaller than the screen appears to be. If I'd use it's easier to record and by using this mod, and it doesn't stretch the image. So it's much better for me to play with and to record with, so that's why I'm doing it. If you're new to the game series, it's a fairly typical turn-based strategy game. Some of the basic or oddities or basic game mechanics include that units are produced in cities. You can upgrade them, you need to upgrade them. They also teach you your spells, how much money you earn, what type of units you can produce, upgrade those units. So cities are the center of all, well, not all, but let's say most of unit production. Controlling cities is vital to success. Other is, it's heavily hero focused, that's the name, Heroes of Might and Magic. You can't move armies without heroes. You always need a hero. Hero doesn't fight in the battle, but it provides buffs for all the army stacks you have with it. So decent hero will make a world of difference between in a fight between equal armies. Spellcasting ability also does quite a bit of a difference. A hero can have up to 8 skills. They're quite varied, but you can get, there's a lot more skills, so you can never get all of them on a single hero. We have leadership, increases your hero crew's morale by 1, and artillery allows control of the ballista, and allowing 2 shots with 50% chance to inflict double damage. I'm not sure if you get 2 shots, I think you just get control of it at basic level. And our speciality is ballista. It won't show its usefulness for a long time. Yeah, the stats on the heroes are pretty easy to understand. Attack, defense, power, knowledge. Attack and defense just gets added to the unit's attack and defense values directly. Knowledge is, every point of knowledge gives you 10 spell points, and that's it. Power is a bit more complicated because it depends on the spell. It usually does 2 things. It determines the duration of the spell, so every point means 1 turn in combat that the spell lasts. So power 1 is fairly bad. It also acts as a damage multiplier for damage spells. So a spell might have a basic damage, then that it does always, then a multiplier on top of that, so like 10 points times your power value. So a low power value means you're not gonna do anything bad to anyone, your buffs won't last, your debuffs won't last, you're hard pressed to influence the battle in any way. So even a non-spell focused hero would preferably have power of 2 or 3 and knowledge the same, so it can at least do something. It doesn't have to recast the buff every turn, things like that. If you want to focus on magic, you need a massive amount of power and knowledge. You can buy more heroes at the tavern. Level 1 heroes, cleric, and an alchemist. Alchemists come from a different faction. I think we're a castle faction. Yes. I think an alchemist, the alchemist comes from what? From a wizard faction. There are quite a few others, I just don't recall them. Undead, dungeon, barbarians, sorcerers, and a few more. I just don't recall them. You can see them if you go through the heroes too. We can get knights and I think clerics, but after that you can see rangers. That's the sorcerer, druids. Now wizards, yeah. Devils, yeah, I forgot about devils. Undead. One else. Overlord. This is a dungeon. Barbarians. Lizardmen. This is a lizard focused faction. I don't recall the name of it. And that's it. So something like what, 6-7 factions about. Everyone has different types of armies, different types of buildings, different costs for buildings, so everything's different. How the heroes develop is different, what skills they usually tend to get on level up is different. You get the idea, everything's different. But this is Castle, and this is Christian, initial hero. He's an okay hero. Now, all these stacks will want to join us, and we'll accept. I'm going back to town because I need to buy a spellbook. Every hero should have a spellbook, every single one of them. Ooh, we got Shield, Slow, Bless, Dispel, and Magic Arrow. Good selection. Slow is very good, Bless is very good. Shield is okay, Dispel can be good. And Magic Miss Arrow is the basic attack spell everyone gets. I'm dumping most of the troops here. So I need to start doing things right off the bat. We don't need to go. Crap. Okay, we're basically doing one very strong hero at this time, and I need to start remove obstacles. I need to start fighting immediately, clearing access to resource gathering places like sawmills. Speaking of resources, can be seen at the bottom. 30 lumber, 20 mercury, 30 ore, 20 sulfur, 20 crystal, 20 gems, about 28,000 gold. Gold is needed for everything. Lumber and ore are basic resources you need for your basic upgrades, city upgrades. Mercury, sulfur, crystal, gems, or more advanced resources. You need them for advanced units and mages guild upgrade. We can invite a hero. That means when we buy this hero, Cleric, with her Saki Frost Ring, we can determine what hero becomes available next. So I'm going to take... What am I going to take? I'm gonna take Lord Hart, because he produces money. I'm giving away troops. Because I'm going to go sailing. And I don't intend to do any fighting there. And we have Lord Hearts. What next? We need at least 4 heroes. Triss could be an option because he has tactics. But I'd like another caster. Adila, yeah. Because she has diplomacy and I want someone with diplomacy. I'm choosing, this is a chase. Once you get them you can choose, do you want to take some money or experience for your hero? I'm taking money at the moment. The level cap is 6, that's quite easy to reach anyway, so we're going to need a ton of money to get the upgrades going. Do want the upgrade. Town Hall increases our income. I do want I think 4 heroes will be enough here. That's all that is going to get transferred to the next mission anyway, so isn't much of a point to getting more. You're just wasting your time there. At least we have another hero that can move on. Returning from Murham, a scout enters the Caryatid Courtyard, that's the name of our city, and reports. Murham is under occupation by Eofol and Nyan troops. Okay. The game will start to roll on a bit faster once I can stop explaining things. If you played pretty much any one of these game series, you know the drill. 1500 gold, 5 lumber, 200 gold. I'm just doing initial. I wanted to have someone on the water immediately to get to looting. 5 lumber. We'll probably get a lot of lumber and money from this, but nothing else. Barbarian. I'm not finding more heroes. We need to buy blacksmith and marketplace to get city hall. Blacksmith provides war machines. For us, it's the ballista. You need to die. Infernal truck guys. Yes, we wish to engage them. Yeah, and this is the battle screen. It also doesn't really scale well, so it is what it is. Turn-based. You can cast spells each turn as long as you have the spell points. Pretty simple. Effects depends on spells, blah blah blah. Notable effects that might not be immediately obvious is morale and luck. Morale gives you a chance to get a second action in a turn, so if I shoot here and get a morale, I get to shoot another time. Or move, or whatever I think. So you basically get to take your full turn on that unit again. Luck, on the other hand, does... I think it does basically your full damage. It might not do that exactly, but it's basically a damage buff. You do pretty much as much damage as your unit stack could theoretically do. If you look at a unit, there's a damage variation of 1 to 3 points damage per unit. Here is 2 to 3, here 6 to 9, so it basically gives you maximum damage, I think. Yeah, it wasn't much of a fight. 180 experience. And moving on. I leave the looting and capturing to the hero with no army. There's only a limited amount of things you can do each turn for movement, so I don't want to waste it on collecting things when we have extra heroes doing that. I'm going to wait for them to move. At this distance we have a broken arrow symbol if we attack. It means we won't be able to do full damage because of the distance, so we'll let them come closer before firing. Wait. And that's morale. You get to just get second thing, move or shoot. And we'll attack. Again. High morale is insanely powerful ability, so I think leadership skill adds to that. So it's you want to have leadership if you intend to do any kind of combat with a character. There's ways to counter that, so it's not a mandatory skill, but it's, as you can see, it's very, very useful at times. Yeah, you are the capture hero. You are a combat hero. We're trying to secure the ore pit. Produce 2 ore each turn. Each day. Each turn, same thing. But I refer to them as days on the overland map because you also have combat turns. At least if I can remember to do that. We're going to have to do some actual fighting here. There's no way to just shoot them away before the fighting starts, so... Oh wait... We could cast a spell, but we don't have a lot of spell points. Might as well. Yeah. And it's over. Need to secure the mine first. Observatory. No real threats spotted. The gold mine interests me. Produces 1000 gold each turn, so since any other gold source or income source is pretty much tied to a city, so those gold mines are fairly valuable. Lots of guards. Lots of hellhounds. Water. We can let the cog stay there. Lots of them. That's quite a large number. The reason I know I can win this without too much effort. The problem is I know they range combat units, so that guarantees that they can inflict casualties on us, which means we're going to be that much hard pressed to fight all our other fights. And the thing they're protecting, the guardhouse, is not all that important, so I'm going to bypass them for now. Go after the last of the hounds. Tree of Knowledge, that's a free level up. Sometimes it has a cost, like 1000 gold or 10 gems, whatever, so it can be controlled how much, but I think this is free. But it's not always. And if you're level 1, you don't want to use that because it gives up level up no matter which level you are on, and you only need 1000 experience to get to level 2. You probably want to be somewhere like level 3 before you even consider using a tree knowledge. Here it's not too big of a deal because we're level capped to 6 anyway, so it doesn't matter all that much. Yeah, this is gonna be a fight. And they have Cerberus. Normal Hellhound is pretty unremarkable. Cerberus has better stats, has 3-headed attack, and enemies cannot retaliate. The enemies cannot retaliate is a powerful ability. The 3-headed attack means just instead of attacking a single target that you aim at, it also, well, let's say it comes from the side and attacks this halberdier. Instead of just attacking the hex the halberdier is on, it also attacks 2 of the adjacent hexes. So it's sort of a area of effect attack. It can be used very effectively. If the enemy groups up tight, you can just go in there and attack all several stacks at the same time. Less. Yeah, we're gonna be losing most of our army here. Evidently. Points of damage. I wanted to get rid of the Cerberus first because we don't retaliate to it, so it's free attack on us. Also, well, they're going to get some free attacks anyway. The reason for that is that a normal unit can only retaliate against 1 attack each turn. So if you have 3 stacks of units and I have 1, I can only retaliate against the first stack, and the 2 will get free attacks on me. So it sort of matters. You don't always want to have a gigantic stack of units. It sort of pays to split them around a bit. Yeah, we've got this. And it wasn't too bad. Our fighting capabilities got reduced quite a bit though. As a reward, we got access to a mercenary camp and a Guardian of Revelation. They provide permanent bonuses to our hero. That's 1 plus to attack, that's plus 1 to knowledge. Marketplace is kingdom resources available for trade, so you can trade one resource for another. The trades are very bad if you only have one marketplace. Additional marketplaces will make the trade more fair. So with a single city, it's very desperate to try to do any trades. The reason I built it was it's a requirement for City Hall. What you want to use is, there's a building called Trade Post. It gives a much fairer trades for a long time, unless you have a huge amount of cities. Then it makes more sense to trade in the city. Nothing. 5 lumber, 200 fuel. The whirlpool is a teleportation thing, but each time you travel through it you lose some of your army, so it's a bit risky. Yeah, there's a trading post. I'm going towards the gold mine. We have enough army to win that battle without too much issues, so we can get to it. Yes, please. School of Magi. For 1,000 gold you can buy power or knowledge. And that's a scholar. You can get random skills from it, or it can provide an attribute bonus for a hero. I think it can be very good or very bad. Problem is, I don't know in advance if it's going to give me a sucky skill. Same with the witches hat, it teach you a skill. But the problem is I can't reject the skill they're offering. So you have to save and go take a look and load. Alternatively, use a crappy hero that you don't mind if it gets loaded with crappy skills. Take the power. It's one of those systems that I think it's not done well in this game. I don't see any gameplay benefit from that. You can't simply go there and look, and if you don't like the skill, you just say no thanks, I don't want to learn that. Automatic learning would make sense if you could either delete skills or you could learn infinite amount of them. Since you can't, it's just a burden at times. Okay, one of your aides approaches and hands you a scroll, mentioning that the scout who just delivered it was suffering from numerous injuries. You unfurl and read the scroll. Wind is occupied by Eofal's troops. What is that? Spirit of oppression. That negates all positive or negative morale from both sides. So again, that's just one item that totally negates high morale advantage. You have such things in the game, so it's not like you're totally fudged if someone happens to have that. You can work around that. I'm not gonna go against the evil eyes yet. So I'm going to go against the harpies first, because I think I can kill all of them without suffering casualties, or at least meaningful casualties, and get the artifact there. It might help us against those. Yeah, I wish to pursue them. Ooh, they had harpy hags. Not that it'll make it too much of a difference. They have a special ability, no enemy retaliation again. Harpy ability is strike and return. That means if it attacks from this place, it goes there, attacks, then returns to where it came from. So you don't have to commit quite as much when you attack. It's fairly useful. Yeah, we're not gonna suffer any casualties here. And a morale boost sealed the deal. And we get basic ballistics. Gives control of the catapult to the hero, allowing aimed shots with increased damage. This is castle battle. When you attack an hostile castle, they have a wall and can have arrow towers there shooting at you. So if you're good at ballistics, you can destroy the fortifications fairly quickly. But I'll take advanced leadership because I want to increase mainly my combat focused skills on this hero. It's not a bad thing, catapulting, but city battles are the minority of fights you're gonna fight. So what I want is abilities that will aid me in every fight. We're gonna risk the whirlpool. We lost 2 of our 3 fightmen, but we traveled there to here instantaneously. $1,500. I'm going to leave the beholders alone, especially with this guy. Lighthouse. All of your ships will now move further each turn. And we can take the City Hall upgrade. Our daily income went from 1,000 to 2,000. So a significant boost. Level 1. Barracks. Allows to recruit swordsmen. Gyms. I need more spell points. Magical wells replenish your spell points. I think I might take experience from this chest just to get the other advancing hero away from level 1. So she could get some additional skills. Lumber and gold, nothing. Charm of Mana. +1 mana point recovered each turn. Lumber and gold. Nothing. Okay, this is the big thing. We're gonna lose a lot of archers, but he has no chance. Ooh. I'm going to slow him down. Yeah. And his speed goes to from 7 to 5. It should be below some of our archers at least. Our units are way too slow, so it won't make much of a difference. One archer group can fire before he can, so that's about it. Ooh, morale, lovely. And we have no more spell points. Now this fight is over. A range unit normally can't attack with its range attacks if someone is in melee with it, so you won't be able to fire anymore. Extra income! Yes. Steel Eye of the Dragon. +1 luck and morale, so this is a very high morale, it's +4. That explains why it's getting constant morale buffs. I think I might take experience for him too. Ooh, tactics, I'll take that. Tactics is very useful, you can see it when we enter combat next time. It allows you to move around your units at the start of each combat before the actual combat starts. It's very useful in certain battles. It's, well, if we can see it when we next get to a fight. It's very useful, especially against ranged enemies. If you need to narrow the gap or quickly get into melee, a high tactical skill is very useful. Okay. Leading his griffin mount, a scout bearing the cuts of arrows and harpy scratches approaches, kneels and delivers his report. General, Tralia is under the strong hand of Nyan monsters. Get the experience. Ooh, advanced diplomacy. I'll take that. And I'd like to take advanced wisdom to gain access to portal spells. But I also like to secure elemental magic, so basically earth it is. Advanced diplomacy. Diplomacy is one of those skills that it might be fairly useless, or it can be insanely useful, depending on how the diplomacy goes. You need some fairly strong army to start gaining advanced with diplomacy, because you can only negotiate with monsters who are weaker than your group. So if you have a fairly weak army, no one's going to negotiate anything with you. But the benefit of diplomacy is that things can snowball in your favor. So say you meet a monster group and you get them to join them by either just joining or paying them money. So for example, here is another group of hellhounds. We've encountered a few of them, so what we could do is basically get some hellhounds to join and then meet another group to get more hellhounds and more hellhounds. So if there's some kind of common monster group here or a faction, you can snowball them into your group and grow your army strength, which allows you to negotiate with other groups again and again. So you can gain a working army with a fairly smallish initial starting army. But it's a thing I wouldn't want heavy hero to have. As long as someone has it, you're golden. We have 2 days before the weekend. I'm going to go with castle upgrades, because we need at least two before we can build a capital. And that's the final income increase in upgrades, so I'd like to gain access to that, so I'm investing in castle upgrades. This includes a 50% increase into base creature growth. The citadel adds a keep and other terrain obstacles to a town. So a moat and an arrow tower at the center. Castle adds 2 arrowed towers, fortifies your town's defenses, and doubles base creature growth. So it does benefit the creature growth, but it doesn't gain us access to anything new. So we do need it for the capital upgrade though, and if we can gain that, we'll be fairly well safe as far as money is concerned. Stone gargoyles. I'm interested in them mainly for experience gains. Now the item in question is not something we want. I don't want to have it. I don't want the enemy to have it. Morale works for me. I think I'll engage them. Yeah, tactic phase. So this this is just basic tactics, so we can move our units anywhere we like, any formation we like before the battle starts. But if we increase our tactics skills, I think the tactics area increases somewhere around here. So if the enemy consists mainly of ranged attackers, it's a huge benefit to be able to dump your melee attackers much closer to them. We can also protect our range units by moving them into some corner and surround them with melee units. So in order to gain access to them, you have to burn through the melee units first. So potentially very useful ability. You can take your time, no hurries. And the lovely high morale struck in. Yeah. I'm going to cast a spell, I might as well. And they achieve nothing. I'm taking the spirit of aggression, I don't have to use it. But this means no one else can get to it. There usually are not doubles of items in the game, so if I have it, it's no one else will likely have it. They can get access to a lot of other items, but not that one. Castle. Magaks. Shit. They're like the cogs, but only worse. But we could use access to these resources. They're especially useful when you need to start upgrading your mage's tower. Lumber. Oh, lumber. Nothing. And... ooh, hostile town. This is bad, because we have a single pikeman, so we'll lose every combat we engage in. Okay, you are going to have to find out what the hell does that person want. Basic Scholar, yeah, that's a terrible skill. You can trade spell books or spells between characters. It's not the worst thing ever. I'll keep it. It's not a bad thing if someone has it. Because that way, instead of, you don't have to find another castle or a city and upgrade the Aegis Tower there. I don't have to have every hero visit that place. I just need to visit with the guy who has a high scholar. And then he can interact with the other heroes later on and they'll get the same spells from him. So, but it sort of relegates Lord Hart to that position. It's something he has to do now. Pack of Hellhounds, that's a Griffin Tower. Oh, that's worth going to. It allows me to buy Griffins every week. And I might be able to get to it today. Which means tomorrow I can buy another set of creatures there. We're going to win this though. Not doing all that well. And they have a quite a decent advantage over us. Yeah, this is not going well. I think we'll win this, but most of us will die. It doesn't really matter, we have trash, so life expectancy isn't great on trash. Yeah, everyone died. And we got 7 to replace them, and we can buy 7 more on tomorrow. So, not bad, not bad. Week of the Serpentfly. Serpentfly growth +5. Yeah, no one here has Serpentflies. I'm pretty sure about that. And capital. So now our gold income is pretty secure. Just need to escape this place before a hero comes out of there and gets us. Flint. Well, once we produce some higher level units here, we can just make attack through the water with easy access there. We're producing 5,000 gold each day at this point. Not an insignificant number, we're probably good on gold. Pack of Horned Star Axis, +1 spell time. We're gonna be able to handle Magags. The problem is that this guy really has no spells, so it's going to have to be a melee engagement against shooting creatures. Wait to find out. We need to spread these guys around, that's for certain. Yeah, let's just get things over with. Their speed is 6, so they react X no matter what we do. We can't cast anything, so let's just get on with things. We have a fairly high morale, so that could be enough. No melee unit got that though, so pause. Yeah, we'll be just fine. We lost the marksman, but that's all we're gonna lose. Ooh, luck. Pretty nice. Yeah. A few marksmen lost, not a meaningful loss. And we gain access to sulfur. 1 each day. Okay, now we need to get unit production. I need the training hall. Training grounds mean need stable. Cavalry is one of our strongest units. It is probably our strongest unit in this campaign, in this scenario. Hut of the Magi. You enter a rickety hut and talk to the magician who lives there. He tells you of places near and far which may aid you in your journeys. So free intel for us. Lovely. Pack of Pipsy. 5 gems. Lumber. More lumber. Oh, for God's sakes. And nothing. Do we have items? Yes. I'll take attack, please. And I'm going to attack the pack of beholders too. Might as well clear this entire place now. Ooh, we could go to Plymouth if that bastard just lands. I think that might be a much better idea. We don't have a huge army, but it seems basically undefended. And if we can capture another city early on, it will probably allow us to wrap things up here much faster than expected, even if we just use it to gain the additional resources. Okay, I want the ship to land somewhere here so we can in a single, so one turn, next turn here, next turn there. So yeah, by this week, end of this week, we can capture the other city. That's the goal. I do want to get rid of those beholders though. Hang on. Very expensive building to do. If we go there, no, we need to land this way now. Immunity to forgetfulness spell, yeah, like that. You can give it to aim on next turn. Forgetfulness spells prevents your range unit from attacking, so very dangerous to a group that relies heavily on range units. Monastery. No, I want to get access to all basic unit production facilities right now. And you need to give me the anti-forgetfulness thingy. Maybe they gain extra spell points too. He has 5. So maybe he can gain a few extra points before entering the fight. I don't think I'll be buying the units yet. Maybe I should buy a few. I could give them as reinforcements to fight the cogs. You don't need much, mainly the cavaliers. Yeah, he bought defenses. More important to get the town. Griffin Pass. Okay, let's do the big fight. And if we can secure that, I'll probably end there. We'll suffer casualties, but things didn't go too badly. The casualties will be suffered by the archers mainly. So we are not going to suffer casualties because they attacked the cavaliers. That's wonderful. Solid move right there. At least not serious casualties. Yeah, no casualties. And 3 pikemen, yes. And that's pretty much it. I do want to visit the witch's hut, see what skill they are offering. Also, we could at this point, maybe not quite yet, then a single fight would give us a level up. Yeah, let's end this with this fight. I think we can secure this. They have no defenses, no arrow towers, so it's just the units fighting. Can cast a single spell. I'm trying to reduce their range attack power as much as I can. We're not going through that wall anytime soon, so I don't want them to be able to shoot there in perfect safety. I'll take basic earth. You want to have we need wisdom. You want to have one elemental magic focus. Earth is a good choice. And we can't attack the hero, so let's visit here. Yeah, this has nothing. I'll build the mage's guild just so I can recharge my magic points. But it does produce 500 gold each turn, and I can fairly easily upgrade it to a couple thousand each day. So yeah, see what the enemy does. Nothing. Yep, I'll end it here. It'll take some time to finish this. We're still in a fairly early stage, and usually the first scenario takes a little bit longer because you have to make sure that these characters that go start with you at this point are fully developed. So as we need at least 4 heroes to that level 6. It's not a too difficult a job to do, but that's our core group of heroes. Probably the ones that end up being best when the game ends, so at least when the campaign ends. So babysitting them will take some time. Not a huge amount. We'll just, once someone reaches level 6, we'll just switch around the army to someone else and let them continue on. So it'll take time.